5 money mistakes to avoid in your 20s. Really, it's in general for many people, but maybe like 2 of these are only for young people. But still stick around, maybe you want to hear if you were aware of this mistake or you accidentally made it. It's better to find out now rather than later. I'm not condemning anyone for making these mistakes. Everyone has their own thing going on. You are welcome to live your life however you want. You are the one who makes changes to your own lifestyle. But since you are here watching this video, that means you're interested. My name is Daniel. Let's just get started with number 1, and that's going to be getting into massive loads of student loan debt. Just recently, the U.S. national student loan debt hit an all-time high of $1.4 trillion. That is crazy, and it's just going to be getting higher and higher. The university higher education system is basically a business, and they are winning because they target vulnerable, clueless high school students into taking out loans as if it's just the new normal, as if because everyone else does it, it's okay for them to do it as well. It's just part of life, something you can just worry about later. But really what goes on behind it is that after you graduate, you don't have peace of mind, you don't have priorities that you want, because now you have to prioritize paying off the $29,000 in loans, which is the average for a graduate. Now you gotta find a job in an entry-level field with an entry-level salary in order to pay that off, and maybe start a family while you're at it. You're probably gonna have a lot of restless nights just dreading of how you will ever pay that back as fast as possible, so you can just forget about it and figure out your priorities again, so you won't be a slave to the lender. Now that's just the math side of things, but really true to yourself, actually before all that, figure out what you want to do in life and think, does what you want to do require a college degree? If the answer is no, then go look for something else. Go into a technical college, maybe go get a certificate or something else. There's going to be an alternative to college. If yes, then you need to ask yourself, okay, now will it be worth taking out as much student loans as needed for that career? Are you willing to take that hit in the beginning? If the answer is still yes, then you might want to consider taking community college classes at first in order to save as much money as you can, and then just finish off wherever you can get your degree from. Don't just be taking out student loans for the sake of it or the quote-unquote college experience. No, have a plan, have a game plan, know what you want to do, avoid the loans as much as possible. But if it's necessary, just make sure to stay on top of that. Now, me myself, I personally have done this mistake. Texas State, one semester for me was $11,000. Financial aid only covered half of that. So guess what I had to take out for the other half? Do I regret it? Yes. But would I change it? No, because I do see why people do want the hype for the college experience. It was kind of nice being distant from home and being around different people from around the country. Anyways, moving on to the second one, and that's going to be waiting to invest. Now, a lot of you might not be interested in hearing this. You're like, oh, that's not for me, that's for older people. Well, let me tell you why you do need to consider this, or at least look more into it. I'm going to give you an example of what it is, because it won't be such a mistake on you, but losing out on it could be. Time is the most important factor when it comes to investing. So say you started investing $100 every month at the age of 20 at an average rate of return of 8%. By the time you're 65, you're gonna have $504,000 waiting for you. But now say you waited a couple years, you're like, nah, I'm not ready for it, but then you finally decide that you are. Say you start at the age of 25 now, $100 a month at an 8% return, you're going to be having $377,000 waiting for you. That's going to be a difference of $127,000. In the first scenario, you invested $54,000 for a total of 45 years, while in the second scenario, you invested $48,000 for 40 years. That will be a difference of $6,000, but really, it's a difference of something you missed out on, $127,000. This is just a demonstration of what investing is, and it's really just here to show you that you should be considering in getting into investing, doing more research, and start doing it yourself. I understand if you can't get to investing right now because maybe something came up, your family, they need you, an emergency came up with yourself, maybe you are a little too busy to get into it, but investing should be at the top of your list as soon as you can get to it. Number 3, that's gonna be,
do you have a big family? Do you need transportation for 8? Well, come check out the 2003 Chevy Suburban, 0% APR for 12 months. Get $1,000 off the MSRP. Only at
Okay, so now what is defined to be an expensive car? A Lamborghini? Yeah, probably. But no, what I'm getting at here is that when you are driving a $50,000 car or truck while you make a $40,000 salary, mathematically that just doesn't make sense. Typically, your car expenses are supposed to be around 10% of your monthly income. So if you made $5,000, 10% of that would be $500. So gas, insurance, and the car payment if you have one should be falling under $500. But let's be real here, not many 20-year-olds are making $60,000 a year. It's more like $1,000 every month. So mathematically 10% of that would be $100. So your gas, insurance, and car payment are supposed to be under $100. But not many people are keeping the cost that low. Just the car payment alone, people are paying $550 average on that. But I do understand that most people do need to have the form of transportation. So maybe at first you might want to raise it to 30%. Around there is a good point in order to make the payments, the gas, and the insurance. But really, if you ask me, a car is just meant to take you from point A to point B. So you would just pay whatever you need to at least have a car with AC that runs and it's a reliable one. Again, that's just the math side of things. At the end, if you are willing to spend a little more money, you know, on the car or truck that you really want and are willing to make the car payments, then by all means go enjoy it. Have fun. Number 4, that's gonna be not building your credit. There's a bit of a contradiction on this one, but I personally believe that you should be building it regardless. The reason you should be building it is because it'll help you out when you really do need to use it, and so in the future you can already have established the credit history, so you don't have to get denied for whatever you need to use it for. The thing with credit is that it's not free money. It's basically just like a loan. So if it were to get out of hand, you will be in trouble, big trouble, falling into debt. If done correctly, building your credit could actually benefit you in the ways of managing money. It'll teach you responsibility. It'll just open your eyes to what money is, and it'll teach you resistance to the temptation to use money. What I recommend is the simplest way to start building your credit is to get a secured credit card. Buy $10 worth of Wingstop or Domino's and just pay it off a week later. Do this every month and that's all. Just do that. The secured credit cards that I personally have, I would recommend would be the Capital One Platinum and the Discover 8 card. What a secured credit card is, it's basically a deposit of $200 that you give to a bank. They open a card for you with a $200 credit limit. Since you're brand new to building credit, nobody trusts you, so they require the $200. So in case you don't come through, they even out the $200. So it's not a total loss for them. Eventually, if you continue to make your payments on time, they're going to provide you with a credit history that you need, which you can check out on an app like Credit Karma. And eventually they're also going to increase your credit limit, but this is not money for you to spend, okay? They are trying to give you temptation to spend more. This is just so you are shown that you can be trusted with a bigger line of credit. It's not money for you to spend. They want to give you temptation, like I say, and they want to make a profit from you, but don't do it, don't fall into it. Just keep doing what you're doing and you'll have established credit before you know it. Now moving on to the last one, this one, number 5, not budgeting. This one, I can't stress it enough, is the most important one, not just in finance. If you want to be set up for success in everything requires a plan. Think about it. A skyscraper, people don't just go like, oh, let's build a skyscraper, okay. No, they freaking plan it out. They do the blueprints and everything, of course, because they want it to be set. They want the building to be good, to withstand weather, whatever it is. How will you become financially free if you don't even track your expenses? You don't set a limit for yourself. Please don't be saying things like, oh, I don't know where my money goes. Okay, that's just being ignorant. So stop doing that. Start taking money seriously, please. Ideally, you'll want to spend 50% on living expenses. That would be the bills, the gas, and the groceries. 30% could be on your wants, because you know life would be pretty boring if you didn't have fun every now and then. Just make sure to keep it under control. Go to the movies, go hang out with friends, go on a vacation or something. And the last 20% should be for saving if you're not investing. Once you're ready to invest though, you can invest in an asset that will provide you with cash flow. Don't be too hard on yourself if you are committing one of these mistakes, or you did. Just make a change if you can. I know some of these are not reversible, like the building your credit early or the student loans. If you're already past that stage, then don't worry about it. Just be self-aware of it. and make a change to what you can control. The most important thing is that you confront money. Money isn't to be feared. I know the quote that people misinterpret, that money is the root of all evil, but money is just a tool, just like a hammer. It can be used for a weapon, but it can be used to build a house. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to click that like button. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know down in the comments, and I will try my best to answer or at least guide you in the right direction. Till next time, peace.